Okay, we should be live. Hello and welcome. It's been a long time since I've streamed, but I'm here for Tier List Tuesday at least. And I'm by myself tonight, for now at least. And I'm gonna be doing a Metallica album tier list, just kind of because I felt like it. Metallica is a very special band to me. They got me into the music that I love today. That's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, I'd hate to call myself a Metallica fanboy, but all in all, I think I really am, all things considered. So I don't know really how in-depth I'm going to be with this album tier list, and honestly, it's going to change a lot as I build it as well. But like I said, super special band to me. I wouldn't be the person I am today without this band. I love every single album. Well, debatable, but I love most albums from them, so. And I think I'm just gonna list them in the order presented as well. And I'll pull their Spotify up on my phone so that I can kind of see the songs and kind of think about it more in depth. But this is probably gonna be, a decently long tier list, just because I want to try to be as accurate as I can, but I think depending on the day, this tier list could change by the day, is what I'm trying to say. So without further ado, I think we're good to go. I have some lo-fi beats in the background, which I don't know if that's appropriate for a Metallica tier list, but I didn't really want to play metal either. So hopefully the volume's okay. I kind of did some testing and I think I have it at a decent place. So here we go. Oh, this is going to be a pretty long one, I have a feeling. So I'll try not to be like annoyingly in depth with it, but with something this special to me, it's going to be hard not to. So first, we're starting off with Master of Puppets, okay? Obviously, it's going to be most people's favorite album, and with good reason. I mean, it belongs in S tier. Easy S tier. I don't think it's my favorite album, but it's definitely top 3, probably, for me. God, there's going to be like 5 albums. See, the thing with this tier list is that there's going to be a lot in S and A tier, and then there's going to be like 2 albums down here somewhere. So it's going to look stupid. It's not going to be like leveled. So maybe I should like reconsider what each tier means. But like I said, I'm going to have to make adjustments as I keep going forward. But yeah, Master of Puppets, I mean, what can I say? Every single song on this album is good, so let's take a look. So the order that they're listed, the album starts off with Battery. Easily one of the best riffs in any song, I think. Battery has an amazing riff, it's an amazing song. Super fast-paced. We go into Master of Puppets. And then, I mean, obviously, masterpiece of a song as well. When I think of Master of Puppets, what's the first song I think of? I mean, I think Disposable Heroes is easily, like, the song that I feel like a lot of people kind of forget about in this album. It's definitely like the most. It's one of the most underrated Metallica songs, like in general, between all their songs. I feel like a lot of people forget the song exists, and it's actually one of my favorites on the album. It's quite long, but it's good all the way through. And then we got, Leper Messiah, super heavy. Orion is an incredible instrumental. Probably not my favorite instrumental. It might be. It's between that and Call of Cthulhu, which I'm not sure. I'll have to think more in depth about that, but yeah, I mean, for now I'm gonna keep it in S tier. I don't know if I want to go over every single song. Honestly, I feel like that might be kind of annoying if I do that, because I'm gonna end up just saying the same thing over and over, like, oh, this song's really good. Oh yeah, this song's really good. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna leave it there for now, and maybe I'll come back to Master of Puppets, but, I mean, easy S tier, easily expected S tier. Okay, so for now, let's move on to Hardwired. Um, Hardwired, I have a tough time kind of deciding where I want to put it. For me, just off like first glance and just thinking about this right now, I kind of want to put it in like C or B tier. And maybe I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now, just off first impressions, and give it a B. Maybe I'm a little biased towards Hardwired because this is the album that came out when I went to see Metallica for the first time. So it's a little bit special to me in that sense. They played quite a bit off the album. I really love Atlas Rise. Just that it gives like kind of like Iron Maiden vibes in a way. Like it's just really chuggy riffs, and I just love that stuff. So Atlas Rise might be my favorite song on the album. Moth in the Flame is obviously really good. Halo on Fire was incredible live. James still sounds really good singing that. So shout outs to Halo on Fire as well. But honestly, the rest of the songs on here are kind of just like okay to me. Obviously Hardwired is good too, but other than that, I mean, Here Comes Revenge is pretty good. I really liked that when the album first came out, but the more I listen to it, the more I realize I don't really think it's all that great anymore. And seriously, like the rest of the songs on here are just like okay. Like Man Unkind, okay. Confusion, okay. Am I Savage? I forget this song exists. So okay. Murder One, okay. And then obviously we have Spit Out the Bone. I was saving this one for last, but Spit Out the Bone is easily the best song on the album. That song is seriously a masterpiece. It's incredible that they were able to make a song that good even still. So that song belongs on like Master of Puppets. It's so good. So yeah, I mean, Hardwired is, now that I look at the album more closely, it's kind of hovering towards C tier, just because there's so many, to me, obviously, in my opinion, there's so many, like, average songs that are okay. They're okay. So, let's put Hardwired in. Oh, I'm having such a hard time deciding where to put this album. Let's put it in C for now, and it might move up a tier later as I continue to build this. Okay. Alright, we got Injustice for All. This is, probably my favorite album. I think Justice is my favorite. And I know you can't hear the bass, you know, whatever, okay? I understand. And I feel like a lot of that is just because the bass plays along with James and the rhythm, so it kind of overshrouds it there in that sense. But still, you still can't hear the bass. So that sucks, but hey, I mean, I love the sound of this album. It's so dark and gritty, and I think this is where James really sounds the best in his entire life as well, is the Justice era. His vocals in this album are incredible. Just like, they're the perfect balance between old James and then him starting to like mature a little bit. So he definitely sounds the best in my opinion in Justice. So let me pull up the album here just to get a closer look. Album starts off with Blackened. Another song where I would say it's definitely one of the best Metallica riffs ever written. And then obviously we have One, which is a top tier song from them in my opinion. Harvester of Sorrow is a bopper. Dyer's Eve is another one of these Metallica songs that I think is super overlooked. And Dyer's Eve is actually like, dare I say, my favorite Metallica song ever written. It's definitely like top 5 for me. So go give that song a listen. I don't know if a lot of people really give it the time of day it really deserves. They never play it live, which is a shame, but it's a very difficult song to play. So yeah, I love Dyer's Eve. And then we got like the songs that kind of come next in my mind. So we have Short of Straw, which is a song I kind of forget about a lot of the time on this album. Frayed Ends of Sanity is really good. To Live Is to Die is probably my least favorite instrumental, but obviously it's still really good. And then Eye of the Beholder is a song that I feel like a lot of people sleep on as well, but I feel like it's really good as well. So all around, there's no bad song in this album. Literally no bad song. And shout outs to Dyer's Eve, like I said, so I'm gonna leave it there for now. Alright. we have Saint Anger next, okay? Um Honestly, I'm not a Saint Anger hater. I'm really not. I actually quite enjoy the album. Is it fantastic? No, it's not. But I discovered Saint Anger during an interesting time in my life. Um, where I think I was like just graduating high school and just like going to college, starting college. So, which was kind of, I wouldn't, I don't want to sound super depressing, but I mean, it wasn't like a super dark time in my life, but it was definitely a time where I remember, I don't know, just feeling kind of irritated with the world and kind of down. And that's when I first started getting into bodybuilding, like seriously as well. So, um, yeah, I mean, Saint Anger kind of expresses the way I was feeling when I first listened to the album. And it took me years to listen to Saint Anger just because of how people talk about it, how people say it's like the worst album ever, and how it's terrible and they never should have written it, and Metallica's dead because they wrote this album. Like, people need to chill out, okay? Saint Anger has its own feel. Saint Anger definitely has its own emotion. It is such a punchy, angry album. Like, you can feel, even the band itself during the creation of Saint Anger was like falling apart. You can watch there's a movie Metallica made where they filmed various parts of them creating the album together, and you can just see the tension in the band. It's crazy. And that definitely comes out in the album as well. So let me pull up the album a second. So it's a shame I can't like play music on stream and kind of listen to it all together with the viewers, but it is what it is. Um, so album starts off with Fran Tick 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 Tock, which I think is a pretty good song. It's pretty fast paced, one of the faster songs on the album. And shout outs to my Twitch about me section where I make a reference to TikTok with Frantic. So and then next it goes into Saint Anger, which is one of my favorite songs on the album. I really love Saint Anger. Some Kind of Monster's okay. It's kind of hard to listen to, in my opinion. Sometimes it's an awfully long song too, and I feel like it just doesn't really get anywhere. The riff later in the song's pretty good. Invisible Kid, I remember liking a lot, especially when I first discovered the album. I really like the riff that starts the song up and it gets going. And then shoutouts to Sweet Amber, which I really like. Another sweet riff to start off the song. It's a lot like Invisible Kid in that sense, where they both start off with really cool riffs, in my opinion. And then also, why did my lo-fi beats stop? I think it broke. Hang on, let me try to fix this a second. I knew it got really quiet all of a sudden. Alright, so while that's restarting, let's see what else we have. So The Unnamed Feeling. The Unnamed Feeling is my favorite song on the album. And another one of these Metallica songs that I feel like is just incredibly underrated. And that's just because it's on Saint Anger, so not a lot of people know about it. The Unnamed Feeling is exactly what the name of the song is. It expresses this emotion that you don't see very often in a whole lot of their songs, and you can just really feel how James, feels about his anger. It's an incredible song to listen to. I really don't even know how to describe the song itself. It's just really good, and you can feel the anger in the air and the tension. So shout outs to The Unnamed Feeling. It's a really, really good song. And then anything that I didn't mention are songs that I don't even really remember hearing, to be honest. So, like Dirty Window, I can't even think what that song is, to be honest. I'm having a hard time remembering that. My World, I don't like it. And then Purify, I also don't like it very much. And All Within My Hands is good, but I feel like, I don't know, there's better songs on here. So the rest are just kind of whatever to me, but I feel like Frantic, Saint Anger, Sweet Amber, and The Unnamed Feeling are probably the songs I would point out at first glance that I really enjoy. So where am I going to put Saint Anger? I'm thinking maybe C tier behind Hardwired. And part of me wants to do this. Put Hardwired in B and Saint Anger in C. Which I might do for now. I'm going to leave it there for a little bit. Alright, so Black Album. Let's go to the Black Album. Alright, Black Album, where Metallica really broke through. Is the Black Album the best thing ever written? No. But it definitely belongs in A tier. So the album starts off with Enter Sandman. Also, let me see if I can get this open before I get into this. It's trying to launch. It's almost there. Come on, you can do it. I don't want to have to sit in silence and do the rest of this. And I might have to. Alright, oh, there it finally is, okay. So any second now, the music should start back up. I don't know why that just randomly crashed. Okay, it's buffering. My computer has been acting a little weird tonight. Alright, I think we're good now. Alright, so, Black Album is what we were on. Enter Sandman. Obviously, really great song. I think it might be... I have a hard time remembering, but this might be the first Metallica song I ever listened to that really got me into the band. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people could say that. Enter Sandman is by far their most popular song. I'm sure everyone has heard it at this point. So it's either between, like, Enter Sandman, Trapped Under Ice, which I'll get into when we get there, and, oh shoot, what was the third one that I was stumbling around? Oh, One, obviously, which I didn't talk about really, but between those three songs, I have a hard time remembering which one was the true first one I ever remember hearing. So, Enter Sandman, just because it's so popular, and then One and Trapped Under Ice were both on Guitar Hero, which I owned both of those, Guitar Hero 3 and World Tour. So it's possible that one of those songs could have been the first one I ever listened to as well. But I just don't really remember. But Enter Sandman is definitely up there for... You know, it really got me into the band too. So, Sad But True, super heavy, super awesome song. And then my brain skips down to The Unforgiven, which obviously is one of their best slower songs they've ever created. Wherever I May Roam was a big one for me, especially when I first discovered the band. That was my favorite song from them for a long time. Shoutouts to Don't Tread on Me. Although I feel like a lot of people like that song. I feel like it's not really talked about all that often, though. And then obviously we have Nothing Else Matters. I think I like The Unforgiven more, but Nothing Else Matters is still obviously a great song. I really love Of Wolf and Man. I really love The God That Failed, although I think Sad But True is a heavier song, but The God That Failed is still really good. And then My Friend of Misery, shoutouts too. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about My Friend of Misery, but that's also another really great song. And then the songs that kind of forget about is The Struggle Within and Through the Never, which is weird. But I kind of forget about those two. And then Holier Than Thou, I also kind of forget about that one as well. So, but I think the main takeaways, let's see. If I were to rank just a quick like top 5 of the Black Album, I would probably do... Oh shoot, yeah, how would I do this? I'd probably put Wherever I May Roam at my favorite song. Then I think I would do Sad But True as number 2. I would do Of Wolf and Man as number 3. Probably The Unforgiven at 4, and like My Friend of Misery or Don't Tread on Me as number 5, and then the rest of the album I just, you know, kind of whatever to me. So I'm going to leave it an A tier. I think it's a well-deserved A tier easily. Alright. So Death Magnetic is next. Death Magnetic is another kind of really interesting album for me because this was the first Metallica album I really listened to like all the way through, and it's kind of the first album I like discovered as a whole. Mainly because of this was back in, hang on, let's see when this album was released because that's going to answer my question. So Metallica. Death Magnetic was released in 2008, which is exactly what I was going to guess. So 2008, this album was released. This was their comeback after Saint Anger, so a lot of people weren't expecting it to be that great. And this was the first album that I really discovered because it was on iTunes' newly released albums list. And for some reason, I was browsing through iTunes. I think it's because my dad is a wedding DJ, so he uses iTunes all the time. So I would sometimes open it up on his computer to just listen to music. And I remember seeing this album on the newly released on the iTunes store. And I was like, huh, the name Metallica sounds kind of familiar because of Guitar Hero. So I opened it up and listened to the little, like, trial version of the album you can listen to. You get, like, 30 seconds of each song to see if you want to buy it or whatever. And I remember the first song I opened up was All Nightmare Long. And that, I think All Nightmare Long is an incredible song. It's super good. Before I go any further, I think this is a sleeper album. I think this album's a lot better than what a lot of people give it credit for. And I think it's an often forgot about album. They don't really play the songs that often live either. So this album kind of gets shadowed. But yeah, All Nightmare Long, absolutely fantastic song. I really love the riff in Judas Kiss in the chorus. It's one of my favorite Metallica riffs, I think, ever. The Day That Never Comes is fantastic. And then I really enjoy The Unforgiven 3 and Cyanide. Those are probably my top 5. Suicide and Redemption is a really good instrumental as well, but not as good as the other first 4 albums instrumentals that they have, in my opinion. And then I kind of forget about The End of the Line. I kind of forget about Broken, Beaten, Scarred. And I kind of forget about My Apocalypse. Other than that, though, every other song is really good, in my opinion. So I think I'm going to put it... I'm either going to put it high B tier or an A tier for now behind Black Album. I'm going to put it in top of B for now. I definitely like it better than Hardwired, I think, which is maybe a hot take. But yeah, I don't know. I'll leave it there for now. Alright, so now we're getting into, kind of like with Saint Anger, we're getting into like hot take territory for me, okay? Load and... Okay, Lulu. Let's put Lulu in F. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so, Load and Reload. I'm gonna do Load first. I really, 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 really love Load and Reload, okay? These are probably gonna both be an A tier for me, just throwing it out there. Again, Metallica albums that a lot of people probably haven't listened to or haven't really given a chance. Alright, so let me open Load. Okay, so Load. Let's just throw it out there. It has my favorite Metallica song, if not my favorite song of all time, which is Bleeding Me. Bleeding Me is... Honestly, that song... It's... I don't know, the subject matter doesn't really apply to me about what the song is about, but for some reason I'm just really emotionally connected to Bleeding Me. Sometimes, like, it brings tears to my eyes sometimes how much I really love that song. It's, like, so emotional. You can really hear through James's voice and his vocals how emotional the song is for him, too. And he's even said on interview that the song's really emotional for him to play as well. So, obviously, that's going to be the first song that comes to my mind about Load. And then other songs I really love, The Outlaw Torn, probably number 2. The Outlaw Torn has one of my favorite guitar solos from Metallica. It gives me like goosebumps whenever I listen to it. It's so incredible. Shoutouts to Ain't My Bitch and Wasting My Hate. Those two songs are like really similar with the way they sound together. I really enjoy those two. And shoutouts to Hero of the Day. I really enjoy Hero of the Day. King Nothing has a super catchy riff. It kind of reminds me of Enter Sandman in a way, the way that song sounds. And then the rest of the songs in the album I kind of forget about in a way. 2x4. Honestly, I don't even remember what that song sounds like. The House Jack Built's okay. Nothing Great. Let's see. Cure, I kind of forget about. Mama Said, it's okay. I like their other slow songs better. It's a little bit too country-ish for me, but I think it's still okay. Thorn Within is probably average, and then Ronnie's average. But I think the reason why this album is so high for me is because of Bleeding Me and Outlaw Torn, honestly. And then I wanted to save Until It Sleeps for last. But Until It Sleeps, I think, is a little overrated. I don't really like that song that much, but a lot of people really love it. Maybe I'll have to listen to it a few more times again, but I just never really understood Until It Sleeps. Not really sure why, but I'm going to put Load above Black Album, I think. Part of me kind of wants to put it behind Black Album, but for me, just because of the emotional attachment I have to Load, it definitely belongs in A tier for me, like there's no question. But the question is, do I like it better than Black Album? I think I do. I think I do like it better than Black Album. That's a super, super hot take, and I'm sure I pissed a lot of people off, but that's just how I feel. Alright, so we're going to Reload next. Reload. I like it almost as much as I like Load, but I think I like Load a little bit better. I'm going to put Reload here for now. Reload might even go down to high B tier. So let's take a look closer at Reload. So my favorite song on Reload might catch everyone off guard, but that's going to be Fixer. Fixer, in my opinion, is the most underrated Metallica song ever written. Fixer is probably in my top 5 favorite Metallica songs. And just people don't even know the song exists. I really don't. I don't know. People never talk about this damn song. It's so fucking good. The riff at the beginning is so good. James's vocals are incredible. The lyrics are incredible. The song has great emotional attachment and meaning. I don't know. People just don't know it exists. They've also never played it live either, so kind of a fun fact. So Fixer, definitely my favorite song on the album. Obviously we have Fuel, which is a fan favorite. That was actually one of my favorite songs they played live when I saw them the first time. They really do that song really well. Let's see. Unforgiven 2 is super good. I like it almost as much as the first Unforgiven. Shoutouts to Low Man's Lyric. I really enjoy Low Man's Lyric. I like it better than Nothing Else Matters. Super good song. Also a song not a lot of people talk about. But then kind of the rest of the album just kind of falls short for me, I think. So, like, The Memory Remains. It's a good song, but I think it's super overrated. A lot of people love that song, and they play it live, like, every damn concert. I just don't think it's really all that good. Devil's Dance, I forget about. Better Than You, I can't even remember what that song sounds like. Slither, I forget about it. Where the Wild Things Are, I forget about it. Prince Charming, I forget about it. Attitude, I forget about it. So definitely lower than Load, I think. Honestly, I might put Reload like here. I think I'm going to leave it here for now, because going over every song I just said that I forget about, there's a lot. It's over half the album. So yeah. Oh, and Carpe Diem Baby. I really like that song too. I forgot to mention that, so. I think that's it for Reload, though. I'm going to leave it there before I start fiddling too much. Okay, so Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All. Top of A tier. Bottom of S. Here, let's just do this. I think that's how I'm going to do this tier list. I know I just skipped an entire album. I'll get there, but I kind of just want to look at this for a second. When I was thinking about doing this today, I knew that my sticking points were going to be Kill 'Em All. And I also knew that, obviously between these three, it'd be a sticking point for me too. The rest of the tier list, I'm pretty comfortable with it. Kill 'Em All. Where do I want to put it? Here, let's take a look at the album. Actually, I just listened to the album today. At work, so. Let's see. What's my favorite Kill 'Em All song? I don't know, I have a hard time thinking what my favorite song is off this album. I really love Metal Militia. I really love Whiplash. I really love The Four Horsemen. I really love No Remorse. I really love Seek and Destroy. I really love Hit the Lights. I kind of forget about Motor Breath. I kind of forget about Jump in the Fire. And Anesthesia Pulling Teeth is, you know, an incredible bass solo song. But and I really love I love every song in this damn album. I don't even know why I'm going over it. I think going over the album, I think I'm going to put it at the bottom of S. And then we have Ride the Lightning. Which I think on certain days could be my favorite Metallica album. But I think all in all, I'm going to leave Injustice for all at the top. But Ride the Lightning, like I mentioned earlier, has Trapped Under Ice, which is one of the songs that really introduced me to the band just because of Guitar Hero. Fade to Black is another one of my absolute favorite songs from them. Definitely top 5 worthy, I would say. Fight Fire with Fire is complete, just thrash metal in your face. I love it. Ride the Lightning, great. Trapped Under Ice is great. Creeping Death, another one of my favorite songs. I would say it used to be my absolute favorite song from them for a long time. Call of Cthulhu, my favorite instrumental from Metallica, and then I always forget about Escaped, that it exists, but it's another good song too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I went through that a lot quicker than I thought I would. Also, I didn't really want to talk about it too in depth, though, because I feel like that would have got annoying and repetitive. It would have helped if I could have listened to some of the songs on stream with everyone, but obviously DMCA would be all over my butt. It might be a little bit of a hot take to put Ride the Lightning in front of Master of Puppets. But that's how I'm feeling tonight. It's also a hot take to have Load this high for a lot of people. Do I really like Load better than Black Album, though? I think I do. I think I really do, just because of Bleeding Me. Like, Bleeding Me is just so good. It's such a beautiful song. Such a beautiful song. Hardwired is also still kind of giving me a hard time. Like, should I put Hardwired above Reload? I don't know. I mean, for me, the only reason why Reload is so high, honestly, I want to go back to the album just to look again. But the only reason why it's that high is because of Fixer. Honestly, yeah, I think Reload might be better than Hardwired. Because I love Fixer. To death, I love Fixer. Go listen to that fucking song if you've never heard it. And then Fuel. And Low Man's Lyric. And Carpe Diem Baby. And Unforgiven too. Like, those 5 songs are what's making it better than Hardwired for me. And seriously, the only thing Hardwired has going for it is Spit Out the Bone. Spit Out the Bone, Hardwired, and Halo on Fire. The rest of the songs I could not really care much more about, to be honest. But like, I also feel kind of bad for putting Saint Anger this low, though. Because when I first discovered Saint Anger, I really feel like 2015 Luke, angsty Luke, would have put Saint Anger all the way up here. And like, that part of me still kind of feels that way just because of how I felt about that album when I listened to it. It really matched my emotions, how I felt during that particular time in my life. And like, the Unnamed Feeling, just like Fixer, is so fucking good, but just people don't really know about it, except for like the diehard Metallica fans. And it's sad. It's honestly sad. Let's take another look at Saint Anger. Frantic, Saint Anger, The Unnamed Feeling, and Sweet Amber. Shoot Me Again is also a pretty good workout song. I have that in my playlist, in my workout playlist. I don't know. Hey. Oh, God. This is where it's going to get difficult. Like, this is not over yet. We've only kind of just begun because now it's time for the fine-tuning. As this lo-fi hip-hop beats plays in the background. I don't know, dude. I don't know, because see, so essentially what this list is telling everyone, and me right now, is that Saint Anger is my least favorite Metallica album because Lulu doesn't count. Okay? Lulu does not count. I'm not even going to talk about it. And is that really true? Is that true that Saint Anger is my least favorite Metallica album? Because if I move Saint Anger up here, like I would have years ago, then that leaves Reload as my least favorite Metallica album. And is that true? No, I don't think so. Just because Fixer fucking carries that album for me. Fixer is such a good song. And it sucks I can't listen to these songs live on stream because that would probably help me a little bit. And I could actually show you guys like what riffs I'm talking about that I really love. Because when it comes to me and metal, I'm a riff guy. I love these chuggy thrash metal riffs. Like, thrash metal is my favorite genre. I'm a riff guy. Like, I like riffs better than, or catchy riffs better than solos. You know, better than cool drum line, stuff like that. Like, the riff and rhythm guitar is like my thing in metal. I don't know why, it just is. So, with that aside, like, I don't know. Honestly, this might be more ideal. Something like this, like, is Hardwired my least favorite Metallica album? I feel like that's more likely than Saint Anger, which is a hot take, but it's this B tier that's really fucking with me right now. Like, what songs do I really love off Hardwired? Spit Out the Bone and Atlas Rise. And I guess, like, Moth in the Flame and Hardwired. Oh boy. So the big question is, what is my least favorite Metallica album? That's the big question. Death Magnetic? I don't think it's Death Magnetic, because I have a lot of history with Death Magnetic, and that really helped me discover the band, and it really... I don't know. I mean... I remember I had my dad buy Death Magnetic off iTunes for me. If I, like, mowed the lawn, like, for, like, 2 weeks or something. I did something weird like that to make quote-unquote money, like, 7th grade Luke money, to buy it. So, like, as long as I promised my dad I would do whatever chores he wanted me to do or whatever, he told me that he would buy it then and there, and he did. And I have a lot of memories with Death Magnetic. I remember, like, walking through the halls in middle school at this small little middle school that us Koopa Troop guys all went to together. Just walking through the halls and feeling super angsty and going through puberty and having all these changes and having Death Magnetic just blasting in my headphones, thinking I was the hot shit, you know? That's how I felt listening to that album. Like, just middle school 12-year-old Luke just feeling like a badass because I have Death Magnetic blaring in my headphones in middle school. That's the memories I associate with that album, and I don't think I can put that at the bottom. This right here might be the way I'm going to leave it. Oh, God. Hardwired is my least favorite? Is that really how I feel, though? Because I have the emotional attachment of seeing them in concert when the album first came out, and it was a big deal. And Halo on Fire was so good live, and James was front and center. We got on the rails for the concert at the arena, and James was right in front of my face the first time I saw Metallica. And there stands James doing the intro to Halo on Fire right in front of me. Literally, I have a video on my phone, like literally right in front of my face. He's there. And I'll never forget that moment. I will never forget it. But, like, is it fair for me to kind of glue these memories I have to these albums? I think it is fair because it has to do with the album. Like, these memories are attached to the album for a reason, you know? And I don't think it's unfair to think that way. But then again, like, what memories do I have of Reload? The first memory that comes to my mind about Reload is knowing that I like Load better. It's seriously, if Fixer wasn't on this album, it probably would be my least favorite. If Fixer didn't exist, this would be probably my least favorite Metallica album. But god damn it, Fixer is a thing. Fixer exists. Does that one song really make it better than Hardwired? Or maybe even Saint Anger? It might. It might. Another question too, do any of these belong in C tier? Maybe this will make me feel better. Something like this. I don't know, do I put Load in S tier?
No, probably not. I would feel too guilty about that. I don't love every song off Load, though. That's the thing. All these albums up here in S tier, the first big four, every song on these albums are great. Every single one of them. Man. This is tough. I mean, I think using C tier makes me feel a little bit better about things. I mean, even like doing this, no. There's going to be nothing in D tier. Nothing's that bad. Nothing's bad enough to be in D tier. I mean, I've almost been talking about Metallica albums for an hour. I just don't know, dude. And now I just feel like I'm wasting time because I'm not even really getting any headway. Maybe I should just leave it like this. See, the problem is these three albums. Saint Anger, Reload, and Hardwired. These are the ones giving me trouble. Death Magnetic stays where it is. That's not moving. Death Magnetic is not moving. Okay? Oh my god, this is so hard right now. Reload, Saint Anger, and Hardwired are making this incredibly difficult right now. See, like, Saint Anger, honestly, like, honest to God truth, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Saint Anger might deserve to be my least favorite Metallica album. Along with every other fucking person in this world, or every other Metallica fan. Because everyone else shares that opinion, I feel like. There's no way in hell someone has Saint Anger up in A tier, you know what I mean? Like... But is it a bad album? No. But I've already made that case very clear. I'm kind of at peace with this because it helps me feel a little bit better about Hardwired, you know. Hardwired deserves a B tier. And yes, the Unnamed Feeling is incredible. It is one of the most underrated Metallica songs ever written, just like Fixer, but it is not Fixer level. Yeah, I mean, and obviously the snare drums. Or the tin cans, I mean. Yeah, I think, I think this might be it. So now, I'm at solace with this right now, but now it's these two albums, Hardwired and Reload. Which one do I like better? I mean, it also comes down to what kind of mood am I in. What kind of mood am I in that day? See, I just have so much personal attachment to Death Magnetic. And I'm like fairly sure, almost certain that I like Death Magnetic better than Hardwired. I'm pretty positive of that. I might leave it like this. I think, give me like another minute or two to kind of think this over. But it's like Fixer deserves better, dude. That's the thing. Fixer deserves better. Huh. What do I want to do? Banjo, what do you think? Man, I remember when Hardwired first came out. I was walking out of my kinesiology class in college. I literally remember it so perfect, so crystal clear. I was literally walking out of kinesiology. I was like, I think I was a sophomore in college. And it's either, I don't quite remember if like I got an email or like Spotify notified me that the album was released while I was in class, or if I discovered it as I was walking out. But the first time I listened to it was when I was first walking out of class. And it was also my last class of the day, so I got to listen to the whole thing after that. And that's kind of like a nice little memory I have of Hardwired too. Which might bump it up above Reload. Yeah. I think this is going to be it, guys. I think this is how I'm going to do it. So another thing I kind of want to do, just really quick, is like go over each album and just like at the snap of a finger, like what's the first song I think of when that album comes into my head. So, And Justice for All, immediately. First song I think of is Dyer's Eve. And then probably Blackened shortly after, but Dyer's Eve is so good. Ride the Lightning, boom. Fade to Black. I almost said Creeping Death, but Fade to Black creeped ahead of Creeping Death. Master Puppets, boom. Disposable Heroes, I think. I also wanted to say Battery. Kill 'Em All, Four Horsemen. Load, Bleeding Me, didn't even have to think about that. Black Album, I'm thinking too hard about it. Oh, shoot. Of Wolf and Man. Is that a weird answer? Yeah, probably, but... Death Magnetic, immediately think of All Nightmare Long. Hardwired, I think I Spit Out the Bone. Reload, Fixer, boom! Who would have saw that coming? Jeez, Saint Anger, Unnamed Feeling. Those are the songs I think of at a snap of a finger when it comes to those albums. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. I'm going to be done finagling. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm probably going to upload this to YouTube. I don't see why not, so... kind of an interesting video. You can expect me to do more tier list Tuesdays on Tuesdays. Most likely with Jared, but I never got a hold of him today, so I wasn't sure. He loves Metallica too, but I don't know if he would have been down for an entire discography tier list, because I don't think he could do much besides the first four. So I don't know if it would have been any fun for him or not, but sometimes I don't mind being by myself either. So yeah, I hope that was at least somewhat enjoyable. I could maybe play something for like another hour or so, but I also do have to wake up early tomorrow, unfortunately, so I might save the normal video game streams for tomorrow night. We'll see, though. I might change my mind. I do have to set up my capture card and stuff, so we'll see. If I come back, I come back. If I don't, I will see you all tomorrow night, more than likely. We were on the verge of finishing Psychonauts as well as Pikmin 3, so it's obviously going to be one of those two, but yeah, I hope this was enjoyable once again. I had fun doing it. Metallica is, like I said, probably my favorite band of all time, and they probably always will be, just because they literally molded and shaped me into the man I am today. They shaped my music taste. Although I went way darker now. Like, I love death metal, like black thrash, like all that stuff. So, but they started it all for me. So, yeah, really special tier list for me to make. And like I said, this could change on any given day. It just depends on how I feel. But today, this is particularly how I felt about every album. So, thanks again for watching.